workers tire? Yes. Do they get bored? Do they make mistakes? Of course. We dwarves will go to great lengths to increase productivity, Commander. But cutting away parts of the brain or readjusting the position of one's arms is just not on the menu. So let us not partake. You spend so much time as a dragon, you seem to be losing part of your humanity, Commander. To take away one's free will and alter his body to benefit production is a terror unseen, and in its own way, the worst thing the imps ever proposed. You shame your empire. Once again, the imps' ideas were so radically absurd, I had to deny my own instincts. Yes, I'd love to see production increase to unseen heights, but not at this price.
Trinculo seems to go quite insane with shocking regularity. Our labourers are to be cherished, treated with respect. Lobotomise them? Do that to the imps, and remove whatever part of the brain comes up with their zany designs. How dare you treat honest workfolk as no more than oxen pulling the plough? Worse, even. For you take their mind and body, mould it into the desired cog and put it back. The horror. I'm glad that discussion is over, and I shall pray to the Green Mother no other impish operation will surface anytime soon.
Commander. Ready to hear about our latest plan? It's called Operation Max Mill. For we seek to create the ultimate factory in which productivity attains unseen heights. Now, what is the weak spot in our production plants? The body of workers, of course. They tire, they get bored, they make mistakes. Allow us to lobotomize them and change their physiques in just the right places, and they'll perform as well as machines do. Simple, clever, elegant. Now say yes. Commander. Ready to hear about our latest plan? It's called Operation Max Mill. For we seek to create the ultimate factory in which productivity attains unseen heights. Now, what is the weak spot in our production plants? The body of workers, of course. They tire, they get bored, they make mistakes. Allow us to lobotomize them and change their physiques in just the right places, and they'll perform as well as machines do. Simple, clever, elegant. Now say yes. Bravo, Commander. Finally we see eye to eye. We will let our surgeons set to work and you'll have Max Mills in no time. On behalf of the imps, I thank you for letting us realize at least one of our operations. You won't regret it. Commander, you said no to Operation Max Mill, but I beg you to reconsider. The workforce is just aching to be exploited. Allow us to lobotomize them and change their physiques in just the right places, and they'll perform as well as machines do. Simple, clever, elegant. Now say yes, please. That's it. Now I'm depressed. There's just nothing we imps can do to impress the dragon, even though it took one of us to fashion him a bally jetpack. How can you be so ungrateful?
Laborers are tuned precisely so that they have the smarts for one particular function, but nothing else. Bodies altered to create symbiosis with machines. It's a brave new world we live in, Commander. Now please, give us the old one back. You are stripping countless men and women of their basic rights, Commander. You are a despot, and worse, a deranged one. Thank reason you said no, Commander. I'm all for progression and scientific research, but sometimes it can go too far and horribly, horribly wrong.
Seven curse these heathen imps. Just when I thought they could not possibly come up with yet another sordid scheme, they go and outdo themselves. Oh, the desecration! How long before you will employ the same methods on us? How long till we've all been turned into scientifically altered yes-men? Good call. Gods grant me patience, for I came this close to smothering Trinculo with his own hat.
I could create acre upon acre of perfect golden barley, where right now 1,000 imps are left to rot in shallow graves. But you don't see me going around demanding Trinculo's kin to uproot its forefathers for the sake of perfect golden ale. At least, not yet. So you care not for the dignity of the dead. Fine then. You know what I want. Those fields of golden barley. Stat. Skulking around graveyards is a ghoul's business, Commander, not an imp's. Let them dig elsewhere, at the bottom of the ocean, for all I care.
A couple of dilapidated graves. We are talking about the fields of Evergreen, the most ancient, sacred, and beauteous of elven burial grounds. You cannot possibly allow Trinculo and his cronies to desecrate these hallowed plots. This is all too scandalous, Commander. They had better make certain they excavate with the greatest of care and leave our forebears untouched. I can see those blasted imps now, using the skulls they find for hand puppets. Bless you, Commander. Tampering with deceased forebears is never a good idea. The blades of ghosts cut deep, and such wounds never heal.
Commander, you are well aware it is the imp's great destiny to create the biggest and baddest explosion ever, one that can reshape our world. And I'll have you know we are getting closer to its realization. Our scientists have discovered the location of what they suspect is a metallic element of such formidable combustibility. At first they thought they were having one of those very special dreams. We want to mine it, of course, but the thing is, it can only be found beneath a couple of dilapidated elven graves. Oberon's making a fuss, but you'll allow us to dig, won't you? Commander, you are well aware it is the imp's great destiny to create the biggest and baddest explosion ever, one that can reshape our world. And I'll have you know we are getting closer to its realization. Our scientists have discovered the location of what they suspect is a metallic element of such formidable combustibility. At first, they thought they were having one of those very special dreams. We want to mine it, of course, but the thing is, it can only be found beneath a couple of dilapidated elven graves. Oberon's making a fuss, but you'll allow us to dig, won't you? Yes! Ha-ha! Ready the shovels, gather the miners, pack the TNT. The imps are going digging. But, great destiny, big explosion, so close. Oh, why do you have to be such a spoilsport, Commander? Who cares about evergreen fields when you could have ever greater fireworks?
Rather than argue for or against the deconsecrating of Oberon's ancestors, I'd like to ask you to consider whether it would be wise at all to encourage the creation of the biggest and baddest explosion ever. Me, I don't think it is. Unwise of you, Commander. I can only hope Trinculo's expedition will end in failure. Their bomb could spell catastrophe, which is a word he cannot even spell, or refuses to. I realize an explosive device like the world has never seen might be a tempting prize for a warlord such as yourself. But what would be its merit if after its use there is no world anymore to conquer?
To upset the remains of the dead where they lay is a grievous outrage, Commander, for they may yet be blessed by the Seven and be reborn into the perpetuity of the bone. Let no imp undo this holy destiny that may yet come to pass. How dare you condemn the dead to death when they may yet become undead? Impish tools will turn their bones to powder. Dear, oh dear, I think I might faint. By protecting these dead remains, you are quite possibly saving many a life, Commander. If ever they rise from their slumber, it is you they shall thank for it.
We teach our children not to fiddle around with their food. So why on earth would it be okay for the imps to dabble with the deceased? I've never heard anything quite so morbid. Though there's that lot that likes to get it on with undead girls. They really creep me out. You are ripping asunder the boundaries of reason, Commander. Bigger bombs may lead to victory, but the means and ends here employed are terrifying. Well done. Never would I have thought I'd speak on behalf of dead elves, but damn it all, an imp can drive you far out of your comfort zone.
I'd laugh at Trinculo's proposal, Commander, if it wasn't so utterly debased. He'd have us give up our sacred rites and allow our dead to be used as some sick sort of fuel, as the essence of explosives. Unthinkable. This is all too abominable. I have an ailing aunt who's turned 368 last month, and everything was set for her internment in the fields of Evergreen. Not only has her plot been turned into a mining site, but now I'll have to tell her she's destined for an imp's oven as well. The shock will kill her. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Commander. We elves are a people of peace, and the prospect of being turned into no more than ammunition upon death would have been so horrible to us. We would have tried to break the Green Mother's great cycle and go off in search of eternal life.
Commander, our scientists have returned from the fields of Evergreen, where they dug in search of what they thought was a metallic element of unsurpassed combustibility. As it turns out, when they reached the deepest and oldest elven catacombs, the object we imps so desire is no metal at all, but the ashes of elves. Centuries ago, they burned their dead instead of burying them. As it turns out, elven ash equals gunpowder squared by 1,000,000. The implications are clear. When an elf dies, give the remains to us, and we can continue our research. Yours shall be the mother of all bombs. Commander, our scientists have returned from the fields of Evergreen, where they dug in search of what they thought was a metallic element of unsurpassed combustibility. As it turns out, when they reached the deepest and oldest elven catacombs, the object we imps so desire is no metal at all, but the ashes of elves. Centuries ago, they burned their dead instead of burying them. As it turns out, elven ash equals gunpowder squared by 1,000,000. The implications are clear. When an elf dies, give the remains to us, and we can continue our research. Yours shall be the mother of all bombs. Wondrous decision, Commander. We'll build a huge crematory right next to our research facilities and get cracking. And crackling. Fine. We may have been asking for a bit much, but really, Commander, the mother of all bombs, she was yours for the taking. Gee whiz, you've denied us our destiny.
The imp's proposal is as dangerous as it is unconscionable. If they produce elven ashes on an industrial scale, their terrifying bombs will be produced on an industrial scale also. You haven't just the war, but the world to consider, Commander. The imps are devilishly clever, Commander. Too clever for their own good. If you don't rein them in, sooner or later you'll see a blinding light large as the sky, the sounds of 1,000 thunderstorms, and then nothing. A wise choice, Commander. Let us all forget the tale of combustible elven ashes as soon as possible. Who'd believe such wild fancies if they heard?
To burn a body is the greatest crime one can commit, Commander. Allowed only by the Seven, when we deal with a monster of such vile nature that he may never reach the holy state that is to be undead. What these imps preach is sacrilege, pure and simple. You are condemning every elf in the realm to a permanent death, Commander. No greater wrong has ever been done to them. Doom is the dragon. Bless you, Commander. May never an imp turn undead, so that we have to deal with their frenzy as long as they live only, which mercifully tends to be short, and end with a bang.
Hold your horses, Commander. Don't you listen to that psychotic imp. Some of the most magnificent dwarven cities have been built on rocks from beyond the sky, and we will not tolerate to see them damaged. I warned you, Commander. The dwarves will not take this lying down. Where an imp and a drill appear on the horizon, volleys of fire arrows will be there to greet them. We'll see whether their ashes too combust. Long as they were merely pestering elves, I could have lived with the research the imps are doing, no matter how distasteful. But threaten a dwarf's home, and you've got another thing coming. No bomb can match the power of dwarven wrath.
Even if the imps were demanding something perfectly reasonable this time, Commander, I'd still fight them tooth and nail. They've done the elves such an injustice they deserve every bit of opposition they get. So now entire cities must suffer for the imps' madcap machinations as well. This damned bomb has already caused more damage than any other weapon in history, and it hasn't even been built yet. Yes, shatter their dreams. Serves the blighters right. Which means no more elves need to be burned, correct? Good. For now that Trinculo's scientists suddenly find themselves bereft of a project, perhaps they could repair the damage they did to the fields of Evergreen.
Project Megabomb is about to become a resounding success, Commander, but we need your permission for one more crucial endeavor. The harvested elven ashes yielded fantastic results, but to make full use of its unequaled explosive potential, we need to encase it in a specific, super heavy metal and detonate it from within. This metal can only be obtained from great meteorites that fell onto Rivellon ages ago. Of course, these have long been used as the solid foundations of palaces and cities, so we may lose a few in landslides because of our mining operations. But hey, small price to pay for the bomb, am I right? Project Megabomb is about to become a resounding success, Commander, but we need your permission for one more crucial endeavor. The harvested elven ashes yielded fantastic results, but to make full use of its unequaled explosive potential, we need to encase it in a specific, super heavy metal and detonate it from within. This metal can only be obtained from great meteorites that fell onto Rivellon ages ago. Of course, these have long been used as the solid foundations of palaces and cities, so we may lose a few in landslides because of our mining operations. But hey, small price to pay for the bomb, am I right? Wonderful! Capital! I'll ensure the cities in question are notified so that they have a day and night to evacuate. Then the drilling will begin, and finally the mother of all bombs shall be yours. Every imp in the nation is indebted to you, Commander. We've done it. Our destiny has been fulfilled. No, we were so close. How dare you deny us our destiny when the very end is in sight? Those cities could have been rebuilt. We'd have needed the practice anyway with the coming of the bomb. For shame, for crying shame.
The imps are one step away from completing their infernal device. So one last time, I implore you not to let them finish. Stop them, Commander, for they know not what they do. So the dragon has become hell, destroyer of worlds. May you lament your misdoings when its fires consume you. Wisdom, at last. Congratulations, Commander. The Grail was in your grasp, but you knew its waters to be poisonous. Let us put the bomb to rest forever.
I have seen the first results. The explosions wrought by ashes. The accursed imps, they have stumbled upon the workings of hell. Encase it in metal. No, encase it in oblivion. When the devil's own fire rage across the world, the end of times draws near. They are about to rage, Commander. 7, cast thee in the dust for fanning the flames. Glory be that you have finally realized the insanity that science leads us to. Stick to the 7, Commander, and you can never go amiss.
I think I prefer his bomb over these mutants Trinculo is so hell-bent on manufacturing, Commander. War machines I'm all for. War monsters, not so much. You know how we dwarves value the sanctity of the family, Commander. And that sanctity does not include poking around in pregnant bellies. Only an imp could envision such depravity. But it looks like it takes a dragon to see it through. So, another sick and senseless impish scheme has been tossed into the trash can. Just a matter of time, though, before they come up with another.
Let's see. Fetal experimentation. No, thank you, Commander. You mean to say you'll allow those crazed imps to tamper with unborn life? By all the gods, I didn't even assume Trinculo was being serious. It's horrid! No fetal experimentation, then. Thank you, Commander.
Right, Commander. You've upset us imps greatly by cancelling Project Megabomb, but we are not the kind to despair for long. In fact, we want to present you with Project Supersoilder. Sounds like something you could use, right? So let's start experimenting on fetuses. Yep, you heard me correctly. We need to study various types of genetic engineering processes pronto. Soon, babes will be born as super soldiers and grow to maturity in no time. Right, Commander. You've upset us imps greatly by cancelling Project Megabomb, but we are not the kind to despair for long. In fact, we want to present you with Project Supersoilder. Sounds like something you could use, right? So let's start experimenting on fetuses. Yep, you heard me correctly. We need to study various types of genetic engineering processes pronto. Soon, babes will be born as super soldiers and grow to maturity in no time. Ha! Grumio bet me you'd say no, but I knew you'd come through for science. Let's round up some pregnant women, power up the machines, and disinfect the scalpels. Not again, Commander. No to Project Megabomb, no to Project Super Soldier. You're determined to see the first ever depressed imp, aren't you? Because you're getting there.
You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. An expression we lizards are not very fond of, bred as we are in the shell. I can therefore assume the phrase, "you can't make super soldiers without messing up wombs," would be equally unpopular among elves and dwarves, Commander. To put it delicately, Trinculo is an utter loon, and I hope you'll tell him as much. No doubt you've spent many hours studying the art of war, Commander, but it's your grasp on the philosophy of morality that is in need of brushing up. Doctored fetuses? Doped-up super soldiers? It's grotesque. Very wise of you, Commander. Trinculo really needs to have his head examined. Were he a lizard, he must have hatched from a rotten egg, as we say.
Super soldiers sound good on paper, Commander, but the methods to make them are bizarre and frankly unnatural. Budding life should be protected, not subjected to sordid trials. Do as you must, Commander, but the undead will never support your allowing the imps to mess up that which the gods have given. We must be content to be as we are born or reborn, no more. The imp is no more than a tiny demon in disguise, Commander, and his workings are those of the devil, not the divines. They should not be encouraged, and indeed they have not. Well done.
Have you actually seen any of these super soldiers, Commander? They're bloody freaks of nature as it is. No need to screw up their brains besides. Might as well hire a lion to run a nursery and expect things to go swimmingly. You've gone and lost your marbles, Commander. These menaces will pose a greater threat to us than they do to the enemy. I can see them sitting behind the gun sight of an airship now. Look, pretty dragon. No, pretty target. Glad the fable of the lion and the nursery opened your eyes, Commander. I believe it's based on the supposedly true story of a mad king that left his children in the care of his pet tiger. Well, there went his line.
On the behest of imps, we have already deprived mothers of their children, forced them to watch on as they become strange super soldiers in no time. And now we want to deprive these automatons of their humanity too. Words fail me, Commander. Words may have failed me before, Commander, but I've overcome the affliction. Just in time to tell you that you must be as much of a psychopath as the degenerates that the imps seek to study. In fact, they should probably start with you. Well done. Though, come to think of it, perhaps we should have allowed the research into psychotic super soldiers after all. They'd have turned on their masters, the imps, in no time.
The first super soldiers have been born and bred, Commander. What marvels they are. They pilot airships better, fire our war machines with greater accuracy, and are worth 10 men in hand-to-hand combat. At the end of the day, they are still normal human or whatever beings, though. So why not let us research the minds of psychotic killers, mass murderers, and war criminals? If we can constantly put our super soldiers in such a mental state, they'd make for even greater terrors. That is to say, even better warriors. The first super soldiers have been born and bred, Commander. What marvels they are. They pilot airships better, fire our war machines with greater accuracy, and are worth 10 men in hand-to-hand combat. At the end of the day, they are still normal human or whatever beings, though. So why not let us research the minds of psychotic killers, mass murderers, and war criminals? If we can constantly put our super soldiers in such a mental state, they'd make for even greater terrors. That is to say, even better warriors. Goody goody, we'll empty the dungeons of the most depraved minds we can find and study them day and night. Soon your super soldiers will be killing after hours as well. They'll like nothing better. Thanks for sticking with us, Commander. The imps have realized great advances in science thanks to you. Bungled barrages, Commander. You are just determined to spoil the fun, aren't you? Keep your regular super soldiers then, but they could have been ultra soldiers. That's right.
Since when does combining the concepts of psychotic bloodlust and unrelenting super soldiers seem like an idea that deserves contemplation? 2 letters suffice, Commander. N-O. Where 2 letters would have sufficed, you saddle us with 7. Madness. This inane research has gotten so out of hand it sets new standards of moral depravity. This time you have truly created monsters, Commander. Contemplation denied. So good of you, Commander. If there is one thing a super soldier needs more than the ability to kill, it is to know when not to. Had Trincula had his way, they never would have stopped.
Commander, whereas it is wholly proper and necessary even to fight our enemies in name of the Seven, the gods will be less than pleased if their soldiers are psychos. We need to vanquish our foes, banner in hand, overspilling with valor. We should not tread in the footsteps of the maniac super soldiers that went before, killing indiscriminately. The diseased mind is one that has turned on the gods. Legions of evildoers will stalk the lands, grisly and godless. Your own troops will be worse than the blight we fight, Commander. You have my thanks, Commander. The battlefield is a place where the Seven triumph through our victories. It must be a place of honor. Yes, for even though it is a scene of carnage, pain, and mutilation, let the chronicles read it is a field of glory. Where the gods triumph, honor reigns.